And when you catch up and when you are able to hear what God whispered, that is what you call ideas and inventions. Now listen to me. It's not like we managed to invent aeroplanes at a later stage. Aeroplanes were invented by God himself when he said, let there be light. Yeah. Aeroplanes were found within the light that God spoke.
Come on. Yes.
Am I talking to you here? Let me clarify this. When God said, let there be this, let the earth bring forth grass, let the earth do this, let there be trees, let there be mountains. Everything that God commanded, you saw it happening, it is there now. But there are so many things that God spoke, not as a command. So he created them and did not allow them to appear in the physical realm by just whispering. Those are the things that are still hanging in the atmosphere, waiting for the most spiritual people to get a hold of those things in form of thoughts and ideas.
Yeah.
And you say to yourself, I've just come up with an idea. There is no new idea. That idea that you are getting today, it was created when God created light. So very close to your head right now, where you are sitting, there is a thought waiting for you to just get sensitive, and you get a hold of it, and light shines into your brains, and you come up with an idea, a business idea. Now, look at this. Sit down. Look at this. Look at this. Skill. It's unfortunate that we have to go to other places now to get skill. But it's a gift that you can receive from God. Skill. It's one of the spiritual gifts, or the gifts of the Spirit. Skill. There was a time during the first year of King Darius, the king of the Medes, and Daniel said, I found it necessary to get into the presence of God and to seek the Lord's face. And as I was praying in chapter 9 of the book of Daniel, and as I was praying, before he could enter into that time of prayer, Daniel said, and I learned through books that 70 years were determined for God's people. And then after he had learned from those books, he started praying, entering into a moment of prayer and seeking the face of God. And as he was doing that, at the end of his prayer, and then he said, that is when I saw Gabriel, the one that I saw in the first vision. He came swiftly. And he said to me, I have come. I have come to do what? I have come to give you skill and understanding. My God. Look at it. Chapter 9, verse number 22. I have come to give you understanding and skill. And he informed me and talked with me and said, oh Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. Never trained. It's coming from God, by the angel of God, to give you a skill. Let me show you something here from the verse that we first read. Consider a man that is diligent. That word diligent means skillful. Consider a man that is skillful in his business. Listen. Consider, look at a man that is skilled. Find a man, a woman that is skilled. Not somebody who is just doing his business. Look for a person who is skilled in his business. He shall not stand before mean men. The word mean there means obscure, means insignificant men. That's the Bible, not me. It means useless people. You, after you are skilled in your business, the Bible is saying you shall not stand before insignificant people, but you shall stand before kings. Consider, look at a man who is skilled. When you find him standing, look at the people that are surrounding him. Which means there is a time when you get to a particular level in business where you only deal with a particular group of people. You will find it difficult from now that God is giving you a skill, for you to stand before, let me say, useless people. This is what the Bible is saying here. To stand before mean men. But a place for you shall be created to stand before kings and significant people. People that mean a lot in life. There shall be a space and a place for you to stand there and to start functioning from there. Am I talking to somebody here? Consider a man that is skillful in his business, who knows what he's doing. Which means skill comes along with it a different group of company or a different group of people. If you are selling clothes, go ahead, sell clothes. But until you add skill to that, your market will never change. If you are selling tomatoes, continue selling tomatoes, but not until you add skill to the way you sell tomatoes. You shall continue selling tomatoes to that same group of people. But until skill is found inside of you, your market shall change. Consider a man that is skillful. Now, if you look at it, there is an advice that one of the most important statements that you can find anywhere in the Word of God, where you find a father giving an advice to his son, Timothy, and his father by the name Paul. And Paul said to Timothy, "My son Timothy, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman who needeth not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. Study to show thyself approved unto God." My son, study. Get skilled. Understand what you're doing. Get information. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse number 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman. A workman. This is a pastor, he's a bishop, but he's called a workman. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman. It's a work. For you to be doing what you're doing in the house of God, it's a work. He's calling him a workman. But in the process of working for God, there's no need for you to be ashamed if you're prepared for it. Perfect the way you minister to people. In other words, what he's saying, if you develop yourself in that area, you are never going to find yourself standing in front of mean men. Which means your membership is going to change. It is skill that determines the class of people that you minister to. Okay, let me show you what happens. Because if you are talking of business, we are not just talking about your own business. We're talking about God's business as well. Right? Myself standing here, I'm a businessman. Right? Right? And what we consider as profit here are souls. Right? When you come to this place, we cause you to gain something and to lose diseases and problems. Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? But this is what happens when I develop myself and I become skillful in the way I minister to you. The Bible then says, consider such kind of a preacher. He shall not stand before useless people, but he shall stand before kings. So it's either you have to be converted into a king, and if you refuse, you have to be taken away from my presence, because I cannot stand before mean men. Is that what the Bible is saying? He is saying when you become skillful, you can only be found standing in front of kings, only kings. Which means, listen to me, pastors, the more you become skillful, you get ready to lose some people. Because you're not allowed to be found standing before mean men when you become skillful. Kings and princes become your only audience. People that can understand you, and you start losing mean men. Even in your business that you are doing, there are certain people that you think have been coming to you and supporting your business. Those are not your targeted market. Develop your skill. From now, develop your skill. Anything that you are doing now, start working on developing your skill and find out what is going to happen with you. You will see significant people calling you from now. People that you never thought would call you for anything. They will start calling you and you're asking, who are you? And he's telling you, I'm Mr. So and so. And you're wondering, you look at your phone and you say, Mr. who? What is attracting all those people? It is skill. My God.